Hello, welcome. It's the newspaper review right here on Tab TV. Thank you for joining us and thank you for also subscribing. And if you're seeing the video for the first time, you haven't subscribed, no wahala. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified when next we come up with exciting episodes of this program. If you don't know what we do here and you're wondering, of course, we go through newspaper headlines right here on the program, and we're going to talk about these headlines on the program. You're also part of this program, so do well to drop your comments, your reactions on the comment section. We want to know what you think about the headlines and, of course, the discussion. To get on board. Let's go on the comment section and discuss some of these headlines together. All right, we're also on social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X, formerly known as Twitter. You'll see the handles at the bottom of this video. And to do the headlines with me is Victor Sioko. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good to have you.
Same here.
And if I haven't mentioned my name is William Zabule. If you're just meeting me for the first time too, I am William Zabule and I'm your host for today. All right, let's get into the business of the day. Let's see what the headlines are saying. And we'll begin with the Daily Times newspaper. The Daily Times newspaper for today, the fourth day in the month of October 2023. The headlines read here: DMO offers 150 billion sukuk bond for subscription at 1,000 naira per unita. All right, page 2 is where you get details of that story. We'll move on to the main headline on the Daily Times. It reads here: mixed reactions trail U.S. varsities release of Tinubu's records. Mum's the word from presidency. All right, do well to pick up a copy to read up details of that story. We also see headlines here: Lan Long raises committee to resolve complaints of NSITF. And page 9 is where the entire story is. Reps Deputy Speaker Lords Federal Government labor for averting strike. Oyo APC glom over lack of reward by Abuja. All right, if you want to know what that is all about, page 19 of the Daily Times newspaper is where the details is. Amid impeachment rumbling, Akpabio tightens hold on power. Akpabio tightens hold on power. First-time senators knocked out of race for Senate presidency. All right, and at the very bottom it says Tinubu replaces Nasir El-Rufai, seeks confirmation for additional ministerial nominees. Page 16 is where details is. All right, Victor, let's get into the conversation for today, and we'll get into the very trending story of Bola Tinubu's academic details that was released by the Chicago State University just 2 days ago, or about yesterday or so. And when you and I met on Monday, we were talking about whether or not they're going to obey the court ruling and all of that. And I remember he said, it's the US. It's the US. They don't have a choice. I mean, they obey the rule of law over there. And that has really marveled a lot of Nigerians. And even our, learned lawyers here are saying that, nice one by the US government for their quick response to the ruling by the U.S. court. But aside that, a lot of mixed reactions, just like the paper rightly put it, as come as a result of that documents that is out there. What is your own reaction to the document?
Okay. My reaction to the document is that a whole lot of the discrepancies we are seeing. But my issue is that will they hold water in the eyes of the Supreme Court judges?
Yeah.
To be as neutral as I can be, if you go back to the history of this country, you find out that the rule of law has been suffering so much in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Implementation, application has been an issue here.
Sure.
And from the tone of the current presidency, you find out that they have started watering down the issues that we are talking about. The foreign minister was live on TV yesterday, and he called the whole package a frivolous issue. He watered it down as much as he could. And what does that mean? It creates doubts in the minds of people out there to say, could it be, could it not be? But I'm here to also spin, will I say, facts of what has been said or what I've also seen with my clear eyes. If you notice, in the year 1999, when the current president was running for governorship, or when he became a governor, if we can take our minds back, you remember that he had issues with forgery. Okay? And what happened? As at that time, the Supreme Court could not do anything because of the power of incumbency. That was the reason then. But it was proven that he had forged. But then that time went, and you remember the issues with, and where he made a mistake, or where the president made a mistake, if you ask me, was for the fact that he submitted that result. Nothing could have happened if he had submitted an O level or a school sat. It could have just been waived. But then let me tell you, Mr. Bule, from the details that was brought out now, you find out that there are many issues aside this Chicago State University. Mind you, back then, there were, will I say, from his part, he said, as the president and his team said that he went to the University of Chicago, not Chicago State University. Okay, as prestigious as University of Chicago. That was what they came out with initially. Okay. And we still have, will I say, doubts. Mind you, before even seeing this certificate, there were strong doubts to say that how will the president within 2 years gain a degree in accounting? 2 years. It is not like it is not done in other climes. It's not like Nigeria where they will tell you 3 years or 4 years course. Okay? In the US or other climes, if you are able to meet up those credit loads, if you like, register for those courses, you have that ample space. But in some of our courses here in Nigeria, in the semester, they tell you you don't have to pass 21 credit loads. Sometimes they expand it so well for you. It is not left for you if you have the capacity to take all those courses within 2 years. Then you are good to go. But that aside, I'm not saying that our president is not intelligent or brilliant. Yeah. He's a smart. He's a smart. He is, yeah. In fact, let me keep that. But then, the issues that have been, will I say, erupted now, is now laying back on 1975 or there, or 1974, when his results, his GCE, shows that he attended that one of the colleges, one renowned college in Lagos. Yeah. Okay, but then the result is showing a 2 years ahead of when the college started operation. Are you getting me? The college started operation 2 years after the result had been released, meaning that, I don't know if you get my point. Yes. So a result that was you have a result stating 1973, but the school started operation in 1975. Okay? That is one issue by the side. Then you now start talking about the details, further details in his document.
Like his age?
Like his age. So the age that he's using for his celebrations, all these celebrations that is false. The age in the certificate is in his form, in his application form, my application form, is 2 years ahead of what he is using. So you see all these issues here and there. But now the question is, will the Supreme Court, in its magnanimity or power, want to accept this? Mind you, the Supreme Court, I will repeat again, it is not an evidence court. It is a court for the Constitution. So their own is to interpret the Constitution.
So if you had any evidence, you should have, laid it out in the lower courts, and they would have, gone over it and then said, okay, this is our judgment, and then you take the judgment and move on to the Supreme Court, where they will now interpret further and say, this is what the Constitution say about what was given to you as judgment before you got here. So it's not that you have evidence, new discoveries, new evidence if you want to go and lay it out at the Supreme Court. So it's a very tough time for the judiciary too.
But I also want to say this. Aside the fight in the Supreme Court, the president will have more fights outside the shores of this country. Okay. Reason, one, the name that was used. Okay. Somebody will come out tomorrow and go to the court in the US, okay, for that battle.
And claim the name.
And claim the name. What about other institutions or associations that have been conjoined to this matter now? They will come out to say, you used our title or used our name for one thing or the other, you must prove it. Okay? So legal battles upon legal battles, some that we will hear, some that might be settled behind the scene. Okay? So these are the things that we have to, that Nigerians need to embrace at the moment. Things that will distract the president further. But if you also ask me, with the state of things, with respect to the judiciary, I don't see this a big issue. Okay? 2 cents. I don't see this as a big issue. And
it's not going to stop
it will not stop him. It will not stop him. They've already started watering it down. And no, come on, you know who these guys are. So,
well, interesting. Like you rightly said, this is not going to stop him. It's still if the Supreme Court interprets the judgment in his favor, he's going to move on. Except that changes. That's when, there might be a drawback. But if that doesn't change, if what we know as a judgment that has favored the APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu still stands at the Supreme Court, all of this will just be, very irrelevant. And, it will not hold any waters or make Atiku's case any better than we've heard in the past. All right, let's move on to other stories, and that would be we go into the Daily Trust newspaper, where we have headlines reading, Tinubu picks Balarabe to replace El Rufai as minister. And page 6 is where details of that story is. Reps to probe 15.5 trillion naira pension assets, recover 10 trillion naira from federal government. Also, birthday mismatch, gender error, unanswered questions as Chicago University releases Tinubu's certificate. Page 3 is where you get details. The main headline on the Daily Trust reads, Nigerian Airlines race to meet 6 aircraft requirements. Get January 2025 deadline in new regulations. Many may fizzle out unless experts call for merger. A fine story on page 4. And right in front of the Daily Trust newspaper here, you also see a graphic analysis of what the airlines are looking like in terms of the number of planes they own. We see Air Peace, doing really good up there, having up to 30 planes in their fleet. We also see Aero Contractor, about 7, Arik 10, Max Air 7 airplanes, and then Dana 8 airplanes, and Overland Airways. Well, never heard of them, but they've got 6 airplanes. Then they say less than 6 are currently operating, but there are pending orders for more aircrafts. Right, interesting. And also we see airlines like the United Nigeria Airlines with just 4 planes, Ibom Air with 5 planes, but they say they've ordered one A20, ordered 10 A20 aircraft. All right, 10. So yeah, you just go ahead and look at the analysis, and details of that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We also see here 23 traders fear dead in KB boat accident. All right, very sad story coming out of KB State. Also, tribunal victory, divine intervention, Nasarawa PDP chairman. Police arrest Naira Marley on Mohbad's death. Dunamis pastor killed in Benue church collapse. All right, page 27 is where you get details of that story. All right, let's get into the discussions as regards the number of airlines. So it looks like the aviation ministry is already doing a lot of work, and now there's a requirement for at least 6 planes to be able to remain as an airline operator in Nigeria, and this has caused for a lot of rush for airlines operators to at least meet up the numbers. What's your take on that story?
I think it is not fair. Yeah, I think it's not fair, especially in times like this. So there are other regulations. If you're talking about safety and all that, that I will listen to and say, okay, fine. But you find out that many of these airlines are also, they still have workers out there that are working, and you know that it's been a difficult time to be a Nigerian. Okay, so for you to see a company that is running, paying salaries, paying taxes, oh come on,
Huge taxes,
huge
high
taxes,
cost of
yes,
jet fuel.
of course, paying taxes even for the jet fuel that they are buying, they are still paying taxes on the jet fuel. So I think it's really not a smart move. And one will also say, okay, the Emirates of today that everybody is flying, Emirates started with 2 airplanes, and now they have up to 200, over 250 airplanes out there. Okay, so allow these guys to breathe, allow the poor to breathe. And we know that the airline business has been a very difficult one. It has not been easy for those guys out there.
They've been complaining.
Yeah,
You know,
the AP's, the chairman, he came out to say the other time that they are not making profits. It's just they're paying salaries.
Yeah.
So it's to me, something has to be done.
And they've also called, sorry for cutting you, we've seen Oyema called for government intervention, especially in the price of
Jet fuel.
jet fuel. He has also called on the government to do something, maybe regulate it to a certain level for them to be able to make profit out of, the high expense rate that they have to deal with in running these airlines. And we've also seen Air Peace, coming in different time to intervene, different intervention for Nigerian government when they have to repatriate people from, crisis-prone areas around the world. Air Peace has always come through. But in his own cry for help, he has always said, man, this industry at this time, we are really suffering and government is not really doing a lot to help us. Yeah, we will say.
Yeah, and if you also notice, yes, they've been talking about mergers. If you cannot meet up the mark, go and merge.
True.
Is merging easy? It's not easy out there. You might be wanting to merge and maybe the conditions, before you know it, you just start losing equity and value and all that. And you get into some kind of heavy debt. So I think what they should be considering right now is that the current situation of the country, we need those jobs. You yourself, you need taxes. In fact, it's even stated that if all Nigerian companies and Nigerians pay taxes, that our current budget will be taken care of. You don't even need that crude money and other import duties and all that. Just pay your tax and the economy will run, as in the budget will run efficiently. So when you are businesses that are coming in, and as you can see, more companies are coming into the airline industry, maybe you ask why. If you find out many Nigerians now, some people right there, if it's not by flying, they are not ready to travel.
Sure.
So it has made to use again. So you find out that it's a business that has been booming right now. Allow those guys to breathe. And to do this, it's not a child's play. Many of these guys, mind you, they also borrowed in USDs. How are you expecting them now that the value of USDs has been dropped? Oh, come on. The business is difficult for these guys. Don't stop choking them. You should stop choking them. Find ways that these guys can run businesses and can bring in more persons, more companies to join the sector. It's highly needed. The number of planes, like we mentioned there, they are not even enough for as big as Nigeria. That you now want to skew them down the further. I think it's not the best idea right now.
We don't have up to 100 airplanes flying around.
Okay,
Nigeria,
for 200 plus million persons.
That's to tell you.
So one airplane to 1 million persons, it does not make sense, man.
We don't have.
And you want to squeeze them further.
Yeah, it's really sad, but then we need the government to really help this industry to stand and to grow, because they are the ones operating it or using it the most. I mean, we're talking about politicians and, of course, the rich businessmen. They are the ones operating on this, in this industry the most. And We know how much billions of dollars are in this industry. So please help to save the industry from crashing. All right, we're going to take a very quick, short break. We will be right back after the break. When we come back, we'll take our last paper for the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back from that short break, and I want to thank you so much for watching up to this time. We're still taking the newspaper headlines right here on the Newspaper Review on Tap TV. My name is William Sabule. All right, let's get into our last paper for the day, and that will be the leadership newspaper for today, the fourth day in the month of October 2023. And the very top part of the leadership newspaper we have as headline here: diphtheria, states consider face mask as cases escalate. All right, if you don't know what this diphtheria is, it's a disease that has an outbreak in Kano State. And the government is really concerned about how that disease has been spreading. And in Kano State, they've even gone ahead to recommend nose masks for residents there because it's an airborne disease, and you can, contact it from human to human contact. So please stay safe out there and wear nose masks where necessary. If you're in a crowded place, please use a nose mask. All right, we also see right besides that headline, Balarabe replaces El Rufai as ministerial nominee. Page 7 is where you get details of the story. We move downwards. Brief trending story. Fashola warns against inscribing coat of arms on national flag. All right. Afrexim Bank shops for $3 billion to fulfill agreement with NNPCL. Let me take that headline again. It says Afrexim Bank shops for $3 billion to fulfill agreement with NNPCL. Lawyers commend CSU over prompt release of Tinubu's academic records. That's what I was saying earlier. The lawyers in Nigeria, they're surprised. Like, these people obeyed though, within a very short time. What's going on? And that has been, when I saw that, I was like, oh, so they are surprised? Because we've seen many court orders that were just
Thrown out.
they were just like, so you court, Abi, you said your own, Abi, I allow me to do my own. Like the case of the very, very prominent case of Nnamdi Kanu's release. Amen. Anyway, let's go on to other stories. You see, as the main headline here, it says impeachment plot. Senate amends rules to ward off threats against Akpabio. Senate amends rules to ward off threats against Akpabio. Stops Yari, other first-timers, from eyeing Senate presidency. Concerns mounted over non-inauguration of 74 standing committees. All right, full detail that is on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. By the side, we see IHS Towers meets Tinubu, list company's giant strides. Right under that, Naira Marley in police custody over Mohbad's death. And the bottom, 21 missing, 11 rescued from KB Kenu mishap. And that story on page 9. All right, let's get into our conversations. Let's talk about Mohbad. Wow. It looks like the steam of 2 weeks ago is beginning to cool off. I don't want to say that Nigerians have moved on, even though it looks like that other issues are beginning to, come on top of the Mohbad's, the call for Mohbad's, for justice for Mohbad, as it were. And just recently, I think yesterday, Naira Marley, the main suspect, as it were, the alleged main suspect, came into the country, and he was welcomed by the police from the airport. And according to his statement on Twitter, he said he's back in the country and he has gone to, or he's with the police trying to help them uncover more truths about the death of his record signing, that is late Mohbad. And a lot of people are talking. What's your take on that story?
Yeah, the momentum cannot be on the same value till now. Okay, people need to move on. I hope lessons have been learned. The question now is how to go about the case and make sure that people that maybe in quote contributed to his death can be able to face the wrath of the law. In terms of for the fact for Naira Marley, I think he must have been calm because from the video evidences and things we saw, at the end of the day, find out that bad lifestyle does not pay.
It doesn't.
It affected Mohbad, my 2 cents, my personal view. I think his death could have been, he could have lived a longer life if he had lived, will I say, a clean life. Okay.
Yeah.
My 2 cents. But then you ask, in Nigeria, let's not forget that some other cases have been, will I say, has come to the court, and at the end of the day, the matter was drawn down to the best conclusion. Let's not forget that some artists, non-Hollywood artists and all that, Baba Sope, or what's his name, that was in prison, or that was sent to prison for one crime or the other.
Yeah.
So you
10
find,
years or so.
so you find out that
For rape.
for rape. So you find out that we also have to give the police the benefit of doubt for them to do their job. And mind you, I'm always that advocate that will say that whenever the police wants to do their job, they come all out and do their job.
Do it well, yeah.
Okay. We saw the case of the DPO that was killed in Ahoda.
Yeah.
We saw that
Hot on the trail of those
they've been arresting
members of the gang.
Yes, yes. So I think justice, Mohbad, the justice will be served.
Yeah.
And I just also pray that Nigerians and the young guys out there should know that bad lifestyle does not pay at the end of the day.
Yeah, for the case, this case has shown light on a lot of things happening in the entertainment industry around here, most especially in the music industry, where we have music labels, the big music labels and their signees. A lot of time people wonder, what happened to this boy that came on board and suddenly disappeared? And it has also gone ahead to shine light on the fact that there's a lot of bullying in the industry, where the big dogs will decide the fate of the upcoming artists, whether you're good or not. If you don't play balls to some of their terms and conditions, it won't work for you. And this Mohbad's death has brought to fore all of that. And we're hoping that the police doesn't only unravel the truth behind his death, whether he died based on health grounds, or not just health grounds, or either from bullying, or he was killed by someone. After all of that truth has been revealed, let's also look into the fact that there's a lot of cult activity in some areas of the industry. We've had people say these things on social media before, until the death of Mohbad, and we also we've now gone ahead to see videos surrounding this young man's life. So whether he died on natural causes or whatever the case is, but can the police also look into the activities of these musicians, and especially the big record labels that do other things aside promoting artists, do other things to their artists aside promoting them, and especially the fact that some of them act as gods over the lives of these. Once you sign that paper, it's as if you have been bought into some kind of slavery, and you have to do certain things to keep your head up in these musical signing agreements. So those are some of the things that this the death of Mohbad has brought to the fore, and we're hoping that, yeah, we will get to know the truth at the end of the day, because that's all Nigerians are asking for. A lot of questions as to what happened to him, and why did he die the way he died, and while all of the drama around his life was going on, whether he talked about it, he wrote petition or not, why did all of that go until, he had to die before the police and, of course, everyone would have to react. So it's really, really, really sad. We're hoping to get the truth out of this investigation, and pretty soon too, because Nigerians are beginning to cool off. But then, please, we appeal to the police and the Lagos State government, and of course the IG, to keep up the good work and ensure that the truth of Mohbad's death is brought up to Nigerians, so that we can get some kind of closure and know that, this is what happened. Thank you so much, Victor, for coming.
Thank you, sir.
But that's where we're going to draw the curtains for today. And once thank you for watching up to this time. Make sure you connect with us on all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X, also known as Twitter. So connect with us on all of those platforms. Until next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the New Super Radio right here on TAP TV.